Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsPoint. My name is Frankie, Breit, and we got a great show for you today. Lots to talk about, including the Packers' big Thanksgiving Day win over the Lions. The Bucs are stacking up wins, and we're going to talk about some hockey, and I have no better guy than Liam Statz to do that for you. On the topic of Liam Statz and Brody Kupsky, of course, they are joining me here in the booth. How are you guys today?
Certainly a day, and we're approaching the colder months, and it's
very cold.
My apartment has no insulation.
No!
That's painful.
It's got insulation. It's paper thin, man.
Oh,
it's
man.
so cold in my room.
Well, I don't know how cold it is today, but
17 degrees.
And the wind chill is beyond me. I had to walk to the CPS today, and I've never had colder ears than today. I thought they were going to fall off my head.
Sounds about right.
But if you're watching this, you can see that they haven't. Let's get into our first segment of the day. It is none other than crowning champions. We're all going to take an aspect of the sports world and highlight it because it was very cool. Now, over the Thanksgiving break, the Bucs had a certain game against the Wizards, and this one big dude did something that none of us saw coming, but we're so happy to see it happen. Brook Lopez is my champion for this week. Career high, he tied a career high with 39 points at the age of 35. He's getting up there, but the quality of play is also It's also getting better.
You know, if we had a Keaton cam, he'd be going nuts.
Yeah, he would. I wish.
We're
We're going to get you a Keaton cam very soon. Keaton is a huge fan of Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Brook Lopez jersey. I'm kidding.
If you pull out a sign, we might break the glass.
From the fishbowl. So Brook Lopez, obviously a great day there. Giannis and Lillard also balled out in that game. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But a career game for a guy who's mostly a defensive player to have 39 points like that at his position, just so cool. Liam, what do you got for your champion this week?
Packers defense.
What?
Crazy.
It's a lot of great stops. The run defense was the best it's looked in years.
Years?
Years, Frankie. And I will fight you on that. Literally years. They could I think they had like less than 150 yards rushing, the Lions did.
I mean, David Montgomery kind of
Against us, that means a lot.
Pretty good at times, but not as bad as it could have been.
Against us, that's wild.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it does mean Joe Barry is around to stay for a while.
You wrote saved Joe Barry's job. Now, how long will that last for you? Until next week when they get killed on the ground by Isaiah Pacheco?
Hey,
We'll get to that.
we'll get to that.
The story of the show. I thought run defense obviously was much better, and I think were the stats great? Not exactly.
For us, they were,
but they
though.
limit those big runs, and it feels like weekly they're giving up 1 40-yard gain, and that's really demoralizing for a defense. But they limited those to, I would say the maximum run was like 12 yards. They weren't getting beat really bad in the run game. So I agree, Packers defense, fantastic night, or day, I should say, on Thanksgiving. We'll get to that. Brody, who is your champion?
I chose the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers football, after they fired Matt Canada, their offensive coordinator, took them long enough.
Yes.
They fired him last Tuesday, actually. They put up over 400 yards of offense for the first time this season. Actually, the first time in 58 games.
Oh, my God.
58 games, let me tell you.
So since Big Ben's prime, they haven't had a good offense.
Pretty much. And they beat a Joe Burrow-less Bengals squad, 16-10. Obviously, the score doesn't show for it, but over 400 yards for the first time in that many games, that's already looking good for them. And, kind of saves their season after, they might be out of the playoffs. They might not be. It's a weird AFC.
They've got a surprisingly really good record for the team that they are. Now, without Matt Canada, I think they're going to be a better team. But I think right now, the Browns, Steelers, and Ravens, all from that division, are going to the play. The AFC North division are in the playoffs right now. Super crazy. You were going to say something?
I don't know if you guys have seen the meme of it's like somebody going, I was in the Pittsburgh Steelers clubhouse this morning and I found this playbook in the trash bin. It was like very clearly like a child's coloring book. It's like Matt's playbook, and going through it, it was just run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle.
Sounds about right.
So good. Now, this is the first time a coach or a coordinator has been fired from the Steelers mid-season since like the 50s or 60s.
40s.
The 40s?
1941, Burt Bell, former commissioner of the league, he kind of fired himself as a head coach like 2 games into the season.
Wow.
Because he was just doing terrible.
Guys,
So.
I'm not the man for this job. I'm moving on.
Well, at least he, didn't try to write it out for as long as he could, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's finding success as the Cowboys head coach. But
Is it really up? Is it because of
Sure.
him, though?
Sure. No,
Yeah,
hey,
sure.
we'll get to that. No, it's not something that organization does. And I would give props to them for doing it midseason because that's a team who desperately needed it, and they proved it right there that the play calling and scheme, to a sense, can't be changed entirely, but advanced, I would say. The scheme needed to be advanced or altered to some extent in a week like they did, and it paid off. The players did a great job in executing that scheme. The 3-point try campus roundup. This is a segment where we highlight one aspect of campus sports that we think is very cool. I'm going to go last today.
Really?
Yeah, Liam, please go ahead.
Well, there's not a lot to talk about for hockey. We didn't play. It was Thanksgiving break. We were one of the few programs this week that did not play. We do have some news, though. We did move up in the rankings.
All right.
We moved up a spot.
Let's go. Big ups.
Number 8. Our next game is this Friday, December 1st, 7 p.m. versus River Falls.
It's a home game.
I will be at a shoot in Beloit this coming weekend.
I will also not be there.
Okay, so there's no SportsPoint stream this weekend. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. That's a very quick hockey roundup. There's our first point from a 3-point try. Brody, what's up next?
Basketball. They played last Tuesday against WLC. They lost 86-66. But Seth Myron, 20 points, and Josiah Butler, 10 points in that game. 4 for 19 from the 3-point line. Big yikes there. Obviously, it's got to improve, but they improved the next game, winning against Augustana 55-41 this past Sunday. Malik Abdul-Wahid, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Josiah Butler, 15.7 rebounds. So it's looking better. They're 3-2 currently. The next game is this Saturday at UW Superior at 3 p.m. I believe also hockey does play at Superior this weekend too.
Yes.
On the Saturday. So if you're going up to Superior to support your Pointers basketball, why not just go to the hockey game while you're at it? So
yes, sir.
A lot of great things out of the basketball team, and after they don't really play any conference games until after during January break, pretty much. Their first conference game is at Stout, January 3rd. So it'll be for me. It'll be a good matchup between me and my brother's Reese's school. So
Reese.
my friends.
You know what I found out today? Reese and Brody are twins.
It's crazy, man.
Why doesn't anybody tell me these
I
things?
think Frankie is the only one that knew that, to be honest.
But I learned last week you have a twin.
I do have a twin.
What's your twin's name?
My twin's name is Aiden,
Aiden and Liam.
and I love him very much.
Aww, brotherly love. Reese, excuse me. Brody, you have something you'd like to say to Reese?
You're doing good, buddy.
Hi, Reese.
We beat you in hockey. That's all that matters.
7-6.
So Brody and Reese, Liam and Aiden, and I don't have a twin, but I might as well. I look like my brothers a lot.
I mean, Keaton might as well be your twin at this point.
Yeah, Keaton and I are my best bud. How's it feel being back on the show? Keaton obviously replaced both of you in the past 2 weeks, and now you're both here again. How's it feel?
For me, it was good to take a little bit of a break, just see what it's like without me on the show, just to get a good experience. And
True.
It's always a good show. So
20 minutes of cut content.
Yep, sounds about right.
We had a conversation last week. I'll tell you that we had a
It was intellectual thought. It wasn't just a scoofing off. It was actually deep conversation.
No, it was, and it was so much. So it got so deep we had to cut some out. Let's finish up the 3-point try. My thing today is going to be men's soccer. Ooh. This is something we haven't talked about here on the show, but it is huge for this campus. Men's soccer is coming to UWSP for the first time this coming fall. Now, this was announced over the summer, so this is not new news, but we've never talked about it, so I would like to get into that, see how we feel about that. They signed Jordan Kaiser as the head coach of the men's soccer team this coming season. I think this is a fantastic addition to the campus sports roundup, and just obviously a ton of opportunities coming to the plate for potential Pointers in the future. Way more students could get an athletic opportunity here on this campus, and I think that is amazing. How'd you guys feel about men's soccer coming to this campus?
Along with, men's soccer, they also are adding men's volleyball and I believe women's lacrosse pretty soon. So it's nice getting those sports on campus. It gives more opportunities for students to play. gets more opportunities for students to go to games, support their fellow classmates, and it kind of just gives us more opportunities to play other teams around the WIAC. You have more WIAC sports, like Whitewater has like almost everything pretty much. Oshkosh pretty much has everything you could ask for. So like schools like
Don't
that.
they have rowing too?
They probably do.
Rowing.
They honestly probably do.
Hold on, let's check.
Get
Keep
on that,
talking.
Liam.
Keep talking.
It's great. It's great to see that campus sports keep on adding, and like I said, it gives those opportunities to students that maybe playing a club sport right now. Like I know the men's club volleyball team, they travel a lot and play a lot of games. So a lot of those guys will be playing for the men's volleyball team pretty soon. I believe that's also in the fall of 2024. So
Sweet.
Exciting stuff.
And do we have 26 varsity teams on this campus now with those 3 additions?
Let's see.
It's somewhere up there.
That's a lot. Did you find rowing?
No, they don't have rowing.
Okay, so
Yes, we
Liam
do
just
have
Liam just lied.
23. Yeah, 46.
I said 26.
Oh, 26? No, because
I guess if you're counting women's, too.
you count
Over
women's
both?
sports? Over both, it's like 46. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's
But,
great.
Obviously those are shared sports like women's hockey and men's hockey, et cetera.
Yeah,
et cetera.
that's what I was
swimming and
thinking
diving and whatever.
Hey, man. Cool stuff. Lots of
Yeah,
stuff
cool
happening here
beans.
on campus. New additions to the sports program. Fantastic. And I think that's going to wrap up our 3-point try campus roundup. NFL update time. Now, if you know this show, this is the thing we talk about most because we're very passionate about the NFL over here, especially me. Liam could care less, I think.
I like the NFL.
All right,
okay,
good,
I
good,
do.
good,
I just look so tired today because I am tired today.
I feel the same way. I downed a
be.
pizza and a sandwich before this show, and now I've got some caffeine. Thank you, Aminee.
Heartburn.
guy.
Heartburn, baby. That's my middle name. Let's talk about some games in this league, you guys. The Eagles defeated the Bills in a Philly thriller. Jalen Hurts throws 3 touchdowns, rushes for 2.
The only reason they tied that is off of a 60-yard field goal.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys
Jake
saw
In
Elliott.
the
that.
pouring rain.
In the pouring rain.
Jake Elliott is a hero for Philadelphia.
I watched that happen. And I'm sitting there going like, there's no way he just made that. And
Yeah.
on the sideline, all the Bills players are probably thinking the same thing.
I feel so bad for Rasul Douglas. I
Yeah.
love that guy. I miss him here on the Packers. As soon as he leaves, the Packers start winning. He gets to the Bills, they
Technically, he's
start
on the IR.
losing. He's not on IR.
Technically, wasn't he?
No.
Did he play that game?
Yeah.
I thought he
He had 2 picks a week ago.
Oh.
The guy is insane.
Yeah.
And he still talks, after being traded, he still talks highly about the Packers. He still says, I started playing so good because they gave me confidence. That team made me feel at home.
He was going to make me cry out right on the show, man.
This
Don't do
Rasul
it.
Douglas.
Man.
But yeah, the Bills are 6-6 or 6-5, 6-6. I think they're
Fraud
6
watch.
6 and 5, I think.
Fraud watch.
Yeah, but still, that is a huge blow to their playoff hopes in that crowded conference. When the AFC North, like we said, has 3 teams in the playoffs right now, like. They're really going to have to hope that things start shaking up on that side. But still sticking with the NFC side of things, the Falcons took down the Saints, which is huge because the Saints are out of the playoffs, and the Falcons have taken the lead in the NFC South.
That means nothing.
That means nothing because
Really means
everybody
nothing.
in the NFC South
Sucks.
stinks. There it is. I can't say that for sure, though.
It's true, though.
You know,
I mean, literally every team is under
It's true-
500.
it's true, though.
Like they have the worst
Didn't-
combined record.
the Buccaneers make the playoffs last year at 8-9 and won that division
They-
at 8-9.
Yes, because they somehow found wins and barely made it in because they won their division.
How long
Right.
ago did Tom Brady retire?
Last season
Last season was it?
was
Okay.
last year.
Yeah. Sorry, that shows to show how much I don't care about Tom Brady.
Because then he just, he'll probably just come back. Because why not?
Yeah, no, that division is missing Drew Brees.
Yeah.
They're
Do you guys
missing Cam
remember-
Newton.
Do you guys remember at the start of the year when
Yeah.
I said that my hot take is Tom Brady was going to come out of retirement before the Jets? He put out a video that said I'm not doing it, but I saw
Right.
that news article come up and I showed Brody right away and I said if this
My
says
hot take was also that the Saints would make the playoffs and win a game. So looking at the division, they could potentially make a playoff
It's true. What was
game.
my hot take? I don't even remember.
I don't even know, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
it's not our hot take, is it, Frankie?
No, it's
your
not.
hot take.
It's
You're in
my own
charge of it.
fault. It's
Exactly.
my own fault. Anyway, the Falcons did take down the Saints. They're 5-6. The Saints are 5-6, and I believe the Buccaneers are 4-8.
Yeah, I think they lost to the Colts or something.
They started really hot. Yeah, they did lose to the Colts. Colts are looking good.
Baker Mayfield.
The 49ers took down the Seahawks. Seahawks are struggling right now, which is great for the Packers because the Packers, looking at it, have a great schedule coming up for them to try to make the playoffs. The Seahawks have to play the Cowboys and the Niners again. And they lost 31-13, so that was an easy win for the Niners, though the Seahawks defense did have a pick six. The Cowboys crushed the Commanders. Deron Bland, we talked about it last week, 4th pick six of the season, his 5th pick six of the season this past week, and that is an NFL record for most pick sixes in a season. But you guys, the Cowboys, are they frauds? They have not beaten a winning team.
Ooh, be careful who you say that to, man.
Who's a Cowboys fan? Anybody you know?
Yes.
A lot of people you know.
Yes.
It is America's team.
I hate that you said that.
That's not even.
Well, I'm just saying in quotations that is what
you cannot declare yourself America's team.
I'm right there
have to
with
be
you. I'm just
appointed
saying
America's
that's what
team.
people have. That's what like the stereo. You know?
Have you guys ever seen the Cowboy Mobile that goes around Point?
No.
I think I have.
I remind me to send that to you later, Frankie. Obviously, I'm not going to do it right now
Please.
because time. It is terrible. It's a Ford Explorer head to toe in Cowboy stuff.
I am not a Cowboys fan as much as the next guy. And that's why I'm saying they haven't beaten a winning team. Neither have the Dolphins, and they're also like 8-3.
They're 8-3. Yeah.
So, well, let's put this into perspective. We all remember the 11-0 Steelers, right?
Yeah.
2020 or 2021 was it?
2020.
2020, they
while
go
ago,
11-0, and they lose like 5 or 6, get to the playoffs, and they lose to the Browns.
It was funny.
It was the best thing I've ever seen.
Like, it's crazy how good the teams who like finish 9-8, 10-7 are the ones who have the grittiness to get through the playoffs. I don't think you'll see that this season because you have teams like the Eagles and the Niners and the Chiefs and what have you. But it's just like, you know, the Ravens, thank you, just beat the Chargers. Just something to think about. The Cowboys haven't beaten a winning team. It's just a stat, it's a fact. Let's keep moving. On the AFC side of things, the Broncos won their 5th straight game over the Browns. The Broncos are 6-5 after starting the season 1-5.
It's crazy.
Hello, Sean Payton. Hello, Russell Wilson. Now, that was a defensive win for the team, I would say, and the Browns are on their 2nd, 3rd string quarterback, who also did get hurt, DTR. Now we might see Joe Flacco suiting up for the Browns.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
How is he still alive? I thought he disappeared into the cosmos.
I thought he
Somehow.
was done too. And he's not like anything great anymore.
No, it's Joe Flacco. What do you mean?
He was at best in his career an above average quarterback.
Yeah.
He never really
He won a
was
Super Bowl.
superstar.
He did win a Super Bowl.
And I think that combined with his passing yards throughout his career will get him in the Hall of Fame. But
he's a journeyman, though.
yes, exactly. He's kind of. I mean, he was with the Ravens for a long time.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers have the same amount of Super Bowl victories.
Leave me alone.
And that's
Shut your mouth.
don't
Leave
hurt
me
me.
alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's stab, knives in the gut. But also, I thought that when he left, what team did he go to after?
Jets. I
The
think.
Jets and the Broncos. It was the Broncos, then it was the Jets.
Yeah, and when he left his last team, I legitimately thought that he
was
like
done.
walked into the woods.
Yeah, and he's just go live in the woods now.
We'd never hear from him again. And then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, here's Joe Flacco in a
Hey,
Browns
buddy,
jersey.
what's going on?
And I'm sitting there, I'm dumbfounded. I was literally in the middle of NRES 150. I'm staring at my phone, and I'm looking at, and like it's just like. I'm just like my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going like, "There's no way this man basically rose from the grave
He did.
to come back for another season." It's
Yeah.
He's like what, 42 years old.
He's got to be close to his
so
40s.
old.
But I want to talk about Drew Brees. Speaking of like quarterbacks coming out of retirement, teams have called him. But have you heard the news?
What?
Drew Brees can't throw with his right arm
Because it's so shot.
because of big injury in 2005. That now it's just that bad. Like he was talking when he plays ball in the backyard with his kids, he throws left-handed. And he said if he could throw with his right arm, he would certainly be open to calls.
So
right
we were that close to. Drew
We were
Brees.
this close to Drew Brees coming back.
Damn.
I miss Drew Brees.
I miss him too.
I miss all the
It
old
feels
guys.
like it's like it feels like Aaron Rodgers really is.
He's the last one.
last
he
one.
truly
He's
is.
the last one,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of bummed about it. I mean, Joe Flacco's back, so Aaron Rodgers, 5 MVPs. How many Joe Flacco have? Oh, that's right, 0. So don't start this conversation.
Wow.
So don't start this
Wow.
conversation.
Okay,
Moving
I'm
on.
sorry. I didn't know I was going to set it
Moving
off.
on in the
Didn't know I was going to
AFC.
set it off that bad.
The Steelers, as we said, defeat the Burless Bengals. The Jets fell to the Dolphins. Shout out Packers legend Tim Boyle for the 2 picks he threw in that loss. So sorry. And that's kind of our NFL roundup. But the biggest game of the week, that conversation starts right now. The Green Bay Packers had a huge Thanksgiving Day victory, 29-22, with a one-sided first half going the way of the Packers over the Detroit Lions. How about that to start off our Thanksgiving break, you guys? I did not see it coming. I saw a long day of family time and food eating and sadness outside of that because the Packers were going to drop this one, and they did not. Love went 22 of 32, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 125.5 rating. The script has said this the past 3 weeks. This was his best game as a starter. He was finding checkdowns. He was going through his progressions. And I'm going to get to him because we'll talk about it later, but I want to get through all that right now.
Frankie's about to start crying.
I am, because we have a reincarnation at
beautiful.
quarterback. But let's look at some stats, you guys, from the game. Jordan Love, obviously, we just highlighted. A.J. Dillon, 14 of 43, was our leading rusher. His long run was 17 yards. Jordan Love had a read option for 37 yards. Not a bad day for him on the ground. Jaden Reed also found some carries in the receiving side of things. Christian Watson, 5 receptions, 94 yards with a touchdown. What a game out of that man. Would have been 2 touchdowns if Jordan Love could have hit him on the final drive. Malik Heath, undrafted free agent rookie. Hello, 4 receptions, 46 yards. What a day for that man. A.J. Dillon, 3 receptions, 38 yards with a hurdle, and knocked Alex Anzalone on his butt after he hurdled and then jumped right through him. Very cool. Romeo Doubs, 3 for 37. Jaden Reed, 4 for 34, and a touchdown. Could have been more if he caught the ball in the second half. I don't know what drive that was. Tucker Kraft, 2 for 15 and a touchdown. And that pretty much just wraps up the receiving side of things. Defensively, I think Jonathan Owens led the team in tackles. Rashawn Gary had a day, but let's look into that some of that stuff more detailed now. 26 in the first quarter, gentlemen. How
Beautiful.
20 in the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 20, wasn't it? I thought.
Yep, 20.
Yeah.
20 in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
22-6. I think you said
20
26.
No,
in the first
I
quarter.
wish. Oh, my
I
gosh.
wish too.
20
I
to
mean,
6 in the first quarter.
As I'm sitting there in my room watching Owens scoop up a fumble and run
my
into
God.
the end zone, I'm
Dude,
like,
I was going to get to that. Come on.
I'm sorry. Okay, you can still talk more about it. It's okay. It's okay.
all right.
I was calling my dad, and I was
Yeah.
telling him, and I was literally because he was going to drive up to here.
Yeah.
We went to Michelle's for Thanksgiving dinner.
Nice.
Pretty good. I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I don't know what happened. The Packers are actually playing well, and then all of a sudden, he scoops up a fumble and he runs in the end
Oh, my
zone.
God, he's scoring again.
Well, I'm going nuts, and he's like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are you behind? And he goes, yeah. And he's like, oh, the Packers just scooped up a fumble at the end zone. I'm like, yeah, Dad, that's what I was going insane about.
That first half
That
was
amazing.
yes.
Beautiful.
I mean, that first possession, 53-yard bomb to Christian Watson, and then finished off with
First
somehow,
time this year, I think we've scored on the opening drive.
Yes,
By the way.
I think so.
And somehow this ball got to Jaden Reed for the touchdown. Christian Watson runs the wrong route, brings his defender over, and somehow Love fits it in between 2 Lions helmets to an awaiting Jaden Reed for a slant touchdown in the first possession. Then obviously the second touchdown went to Tucker Kraft on a wonderfully designed play.
His first.
His first,
Yep.
14-6, and then the scoop and score, and then they fumbled again. And the Packers unfortunately went for it on 4th down, and A.J. Dillon and Jordan Love ran into each other. So not everything's perfect.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that play. They still finished out the game. Defense held up well. We talked about that a little bit. They had pressure. Oh, my goodness. The defensive line and pass rush was out of this world.
Gary is back.
3 sacks, brings the total up to 8.5 on the season. His second 3-sack game this season, and you need that kind of pressure with the depleted secondary they were playing with.
We're so hurt.
They were getting the job done, let me tell you. Valentine, Owens, Johnson back there are playing very well based on who they are as players, their stories, where they've come from, where they were drafted. That's what I mean by that. And the pass rush helps them immensely because that forces up the entire process for the quarterback and probably has them playing out of rhythm, and they're doing a great job of that right now. I'd love to see that happen with Mahomes next week. But before we get to next week, let's talk about our players of the game. I'll go first, guys. Thank you. My player of the
Thank you every
game.
week
problem.
like he's not listed first on the script.
My player of the game, Jordan Love.
Shocker.
No. Yeah, Jordan Love. He's becoming the guy we all want him to be. The guy we wanted to see this year has been growing right in front of our eyes. Accuracy, decision-making, playing in rhythm. Fantastic. He can make the off-platform throws. He can make any arm angle work. He's shown that in this game alone. But when he's playing in rhythm and throwing off his back foot, oh my goodness.
Third Hall of Fame quarterback?
That's what I'm saying.
Could be.
Like, he's got a lot going on with his feet when you watch him. But when you see him plant his back foot and just let things fly, so good. So good. So, like, he's got the fundamentals, and he shows those fundamentals, and then sometimes he doesn't need them and doesn't use them, and sometimes he doesn't use them, things look really good, but sometimes he doesn't use them, things don't work out. I think we saw that a lot in the beginning of the season, and that one to Christian Watson that could have been a second touchdown, but underthrown on a zero blitz. He kind of had an extra hitch in his drop back, and if he didn't use that, he might have got it off Christian Watson for a second of the day. But still, nonetheless, Jordan Love, what a game. Thank you for your Thanksgiving Day performance. Oh my gosh, I have to talk about something.
What's that?
Did you see how the Packers didn't have turkey at the end of the game?
Yeah, I know. I was gonna mention
What?
get this guy a turkey leg, but
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you for
that
saying
was
that.
But they didn't have turkey?
So I guess
The rumor is that they had like seared it with a Lions logo.
yep, that's what I heard.
Because they assumed the Lions were going to win, and then they lost. So they couldn't send the turkey out. Yeah, I really wanted to see Jordan Love eat a turkey leg, but unfortunately Fox and the NFL dropped the
Screwed
ball
up.
on that one. And the interviewer was like, we can't find the turkey. We don't have a turkey leg for
That's
us.
brutal.
I wonder why.
Man, it just didn't. It never even existed. What turkey?
The
are you talking
Lions
about?
are 0-13. Now is on a waning gibbous moon.
Yep, waxing gibbous.
Waxing.
Are we
thank
getting
you.
superstitious right now?
No, it's just the facts.
It's an actual fact.
It's just the facts.
It's
I don't know what
crazy.
to
We're
tell
getting
you.
superstitious right now.
Yeah, it's an actual fact I saw online.
It's
They were
not-
talking about this before the game
Yeah,
that
but
they
that's
haven't.
just coincidence, though.
Could be. I
But
don't-
12 times and now 13.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Thanksgiving happens specific time. Waxing gibbous also happens specific time. Do you think maybe those two might be correlated because they all happen generally within the same time frame?
The Lions haven't won a Thanksgiving game in
Did they win last year?
No.
no.
Oh,
They haven't won in a while.
What do you mean? Did they win last year?
I'm sorry. Liam, go ahead. Who's your player of the game?
Photographic memory. I picked Christian Watson of my own free will and volition. 5 receptions for 94 yards, 1 touchdown. He seems to be finding his rhythm, and I could not be happier about that.
Oh my gosh, I agree. Especially off the drama from a couple weeks ago.
What's the drama a couple weeks ago?
Just like his family being on Twitter, his brother and dad getting at it with people on Twitter about how Christian Watson is not at the problem in any way, and everyone else is the problem, and Jordan Love is the problem.
What?
We talked about this on the. Maybe you weren't here
I
that
wasn't
week.
here
you
for
weren't-
that. That
yeah,
was
You
not
weren't here
here.
for that. It was Keaton,
I'm
yeah.
like, what the heck are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that was going down on Twitter.
Yeah, it was.
His dad and his brother got
Yes.
into it with Twitter beef?
Yes, not with each other, but like with others.
Other people.
And they've been very active on Twitter since then, and were very active for this game because of how well Christian was playing. But you can't argue that he had some mishaps early in the season and not being as aggressive as he could have been at the point of the catch. But his hands this past week, oh wow.
Good.
He was making some hands
first play of the
catches.
game. I mean, he
Yeah.
deep bombed him downfield, and I'm like, he's not going to catch this, is he? And he just hauls it in. It's like, where was this all season?
Yeah, and then the one on the sideline got 2 feet in and had to go up and get it as well. And then the touchdown catch over the shoulder with his hands. Beautiful. Brody, who's your player of the game?
Jonathan Owens, we were talking about earlier, that he scooped it up for a fumble recovery for a touchdown. 12 total tackles, 8 solo tackles, led the team in both categories. So he drastically has improved this season as, games go on. So it's good to see a guy like him, that we kind of just picked up and, he's playing well for himself.
Yeah, and as you said, fumble recovery for a touchdown, too. He had a terrible missed tackle against the Chargers last week.
Oh, yeah, I remember watching that. That was just like...
Yeah, you and I were there. Yeah.
It's like, how do you, just put your body into him and wrap up.
Because he was decking people on Thursday.
Yeah.
Numerous big-time hits. Simone Biles' husband. Hello, Simone.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
She's at the games.
Simone Biles lives in Green
This
Bay
is
now.
like the first time I'm hearing about so many things. I have no clue.
That's how I feel when I found you both have twin brothers. Like,
Really?
Fair.
You just learn something new every day, you guys. Let's look ahead to the Packers and Chiefs game. The Chiefs are 8-3. The game's on Sunday Night Football. We have a mini bye, about 10-day break because we played on Thursday, and the game is obviously at Lambeau in the wee hours of the night. This is going to be a tough game, you guys. Chiefs are not the powerhouse they used to be.
They're still good.
They're still good, and you cannot forget about that. They're atop the AFC, and they are, in fact, the defending Super Bowl champions.
Correct.
So?
Literally. The Packers are riding their first win streak of the season. Back-to-back wins, and they will look to continue it with a home victory.
2's a streak.
So 2 is a streak. So let's look at keys to victory for this game because it's not going to be an easy one. We are at home. That is fantastic. This home crowd is going to be loud on Sunday night. You got to take advantage of that team who has had some mishaps this season. So my key to victory is to let this ball loose. Jordan Love has been gaining confidence, and clearly the Packers front office and coaching staff has been gaining confidence in his ability in his play. And rightfully so. He's looking like a fantastic quarterback right now. So blow it up. This very well could be a shootout. You got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice is coming onto the scene. Jordan Love's going to have to make some big-time throws because you know Patrick Mahomes will be. So I think he will. Let him chuck it around to his young receivers. Everyone's on top of the world right now, playing with confidence, playing fast, playing in rhythm. I think I would love to see the passing game take priority over the running game. I think you did last week.
I think they have to, though, because most of our running backs are injured. We don't have that many people there.
Yep, exactly. So hopefully that will continue. Liam, what is your key to victory?
Confidence as well. This team has been lacking it all season. It was kind of apparent with a lot of the things they had been trying to do, and it didn't work out. They kind of faltered in their play. So off of this win, I feel like they really gained a lot of that confidence back, both on defense and offense. You know, the run defense was great. The secondary looked a lot better. Jordan Love balled out. I mean, they just need to keep their confidence with them. Also, the fans got to be in on this one. That's your cue, Keaton. Come here, Keaton. Come on.
What's happening?
Come on.
What are you doing?
Come on here, Keaton.
Come on, everybody.
What are you doing?
Come on, everybody.
Join in.
Come on.
What is happening?
Come on, everybody. Okay, line up. Line up, everybody. Okay, ready? On 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, that's all I had from that. Thank you, everybody from the booth. Appreciated that. Thank you very much.
I'll be in on it. So, my turn now.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Talk about what? What happened?
What happened? Nothing happened.
So if you missed last week's episode, I was talking about the wave at the Pack. We were at the Packer game. People were doing the wave. I'm not a fan of the wave, and I said I called Packers fans stupid. I didn't mean that. I'm very sorry I said that.
No, it's not. He didn't call Packers. He's called gold member.
I
Packer
didn't mean
fans.
that either.
Stupid.
Packers fans all together. You're not stupid. It's just a stupid thing to do.
Look, they do it at every sporting event. I don't I personally did it. I think once when they did it, and then after that, I was like, all right.
I gotta hand it to them. It was a good wave.
Yeah, they got it going.
Everybody was doing it, but not a fan. I am not a fan. I don't like to see it, but who am I? Nobody knows. Thank you for the cameo from everybody in the booth.
Frankie.
For coming out here and putting the dagger into my chest.
That sounded really sad.
No, Brody, go ahead.
No, Frankie, come on. Love you, Frankie.
It's okay, buddy.
It's okay.
So the Packers, they got to capitalize on the Chiefs' weaknesses. You know, they kind of struggled at times this season. Even against the Raiders last week, they looked kind of rough right away. Obviously, they still won, but they struggled a few times. And weather this upcoming weekend might play a factor. It's rainy and snowy on Sunday. My dad is going to the game.
Shout out Mr. Kupsky.
Yeah, he'll be at the game.
Also looks like a carbon copy of, he basically just made clones.
What's your dad's name?
Jason.
Hi, Jason. Welcome to SportsPoint.
Jason reference. Woo!
Start the train!
Yes! So they just got to capitalize on the Chiefs' their mess ups during the game. Mahomes kind of struggles at times here and there, but obviously, can't take him lightly.
Yeah, and I want to look at Mahomes' stats because everyone's like, ooh, Mahomes, back-to-back
this
MVP.
is the thing that
and they're so similar to Jordan Love's.
It's crazy.
Here's the thing that I don't like about Mahomes is that he'll pull some random bullcrap out of nowhere, and everybody acts like it's the best thing they've ever seen. But then, who was it?
A guy like Josh Dobbs could do the same thing.
Nobody cares.
And
people go, it's
they
reckless, or it was a fluke, or he didn't mean to do that. I mean, he was amazing, but he'll never do it again. Or the quarterback for the Saints, what was his name?
Jameson Winston?
Yes, he'll do across the body, across the touchdown. Everybody's like, that's the best thing we've ever seen.
Wow.
But they'll go, it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes, that's every single time that he throws it. I'm tired of it because
He could do it once and they'll talk about it for 3 weeks.
Exactly. And the pastronaut does it like one time and everybody's like, oh, that's cool, and then nobody cares.
Do you think that's like why non-Packers fans hated Aaron Rodgers so much? Is because his very talented highlight play was just shoved in their face
the Hail
constantly.
Mary.
Yeah.
Every single time it was a Hail Mary.
But it's Aaron Rodgers, Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, I can.
But I want to talk
understand
about the touchdowns. And the narrative all season was that Jordan Love is playing with a terrible situation, young receivers. He's not playing well, yada, yada, yada. Patrick Mahomes is so good. Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, he's got all the rookies. He's so good.
See Travis Kelce's 3 drops, by the way.
Yes. He's got MVS. He's got Sky Moore. Oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh. 21 touchdowns, 9 picks. That's Patrick Mahomes.
His receivers are terrible,
Jordan
too.
Love, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. They're not that different. They are not that different. So let's start putting some respect on Jordan Love's name. Thank you
agree.
very much. That's gonna wrap it up.
Before we
Unless you got
move
something
on,
from the NFL.
I'm not from the NFL. I have something from football. I actually forgot to mention this. I forgot to do it for my crowning champions because I was too hung up on the Packers victory. The Pole Punting Axe comes back to Wisconsin.
I saw that.
Yes, and we've never really talked about Wisconsin football on here, and we're sorry for that. But we did it.
It was
We did
fantastic.
It was a complete victory from the Packers.
The
Badgers.
From the Badgers.
There you go. No, it was so fun to see that happen. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Braylon Allen's last game? as a Badger?
It's his last year as a Badger. He said he just made it clear he's going to declare after this one. But although many people think he will not play in the bowl game, so it could very well be his last game as a Badger.
That sucks.
It's a shame.
He's going to get drafted very high. Well, I mean,
Oh,
running
for
backs
sure.
go in the second round, but
You know,
very, very
who
highly in the
needs a
second
running
round.
back in the second round next year?
The Packers.
The Green Bay Packers. Braylon Allen, you're staying in Wisconsin.
See, but they said the same thing about Jonathan Taylor.
It's true.
And he almost came to the Packers this past
Did.
offseason.
And I really wish that he would have because the Colts really didn't pay him that well.
No. And I mean, they wanted Christian Watson. We've talked about this before on the show. And Christian Watson, at the beginning of the year, I would have said, yeah. But he's looking like himself again, which I didn't doubt. I knew he was going to, come on back. But when you hit those lows,
There
your
was a
brain,
while there.
Yeah, your brain
Yeah.
just goes, blow it up. I don't want any of this.
It's rebuilding.
Moving on.
Rebuild
Anyway,
gear.
NBA update time. Let's talk about the NBA, and we're really going to talk about the Bucks because the Bucks are the best. I don't know what to tell you, man. The Bucks are third in the Eastern Conference, same as last week. They're sitting at 12-5 on the season. They're on a 2. What's up?
I think that they're the weakest 12-win team.
Defense is just not there this year.
Keaton, I'll give you the mic right now.
No,
if you
yeah,
want
I
to
actually
argue
would
that.
like to hear from Keaton. Come in.
Oh, Keaton's coming on the show.
No,
No,
he
he's-
said no.
No, he's good.
kinda-
All right.
Here's my reason why, like Brody just said. We barely, and I do mean barely, squeaked to our most recent win because we only decided to start
We're in
playing
that.
basketball in the fourth quarter.
They just took down the Trailblazers in a comeback win. That is true, 26 points.
26 points, and defense, nothing. That was purely based on the backs of our offensive contributors. That's it.
That's
That's
why
all
you
that
go
happened.
get Dame Lillard, though.
fair.
You can't win off of
Because-
offense alone.
I
We don't have enough offense to
Keaton
win off of
and I have
offense
talked
alone.
about this at length. They're figuring it out. Okay.
Are they, though?
You add a superstar to the mix, you're gonna figure it
Right,
out.
but
It's gonna take some time to figure it out.
simple. You just say at the start, okay, you would be great to be able to guard this guy.
Yeah.
Such as Giannis Antetokounmpo, you would be amazing guarding this person, and then that's all you have to do. Because I remember there was one game, and I don't remember which one it was, but Ashton was going off about it in the other group chat, dude. He was like, oh my God, we finally put Giannis Antetokounmpo on the right guy, and you know what? We blew him out. We actually had a very defensively complete game.
Yeah, I'm not saying there isn't the questions to be answered on the defensive side. I have faith in the team to figure it out. They may be the weakest right now, but I think by the end of the season, come playoffs, they're going to be a very scary team to reckon with.
Yeah.
And I look forward to those days. But we're going to stay talking about Giannis. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most games of 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists in Bucks history with that win of the Trailblazers. Giannis is staying Green Bay, staying in Milwaukee
Staying in Wisconsin.
for a very long time. Was it 2028 now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he signed a contract extension. He'll be around for I would say the majority of his career going forward. How old is he now?
He's in his 30s, I think.
He's in his 30s?
Maybe.
No.
He's been around
He's
for
like
a
he's
long
very
time.
young.
I don't know how old he is, but he's been around like longer than you would think.
28.
He's 28, yeah.
Okay, so we
So
have
he's
him for
no
the next
longer
5
30s.
years. He'll be early 30s. We'll see if he wants to come back again after that, but we're going to live in the now. He's putting up world Bucks records across the board, and he's going to keep doing it for years to come. Thank you for Giannis for being you. And I also want to talk about the Wizards game again. We talked about Brook Lopez, 39 points. Giannis and Lillard also put up 31 points each. That's what I was talking about offense, man. They've got the offense. And if they just fix up that defense like you're talking about a little bit, watch out.
Absolutely.
Now that the Bucks conversation is over, who are they playing next?
They play.
Brody's got it. Brody's got it. Brody's
Looks
got
like
it.
the Heat.
The Heat. Oh, I hate the Heat.
Believe they play the
Why
Heat.
is that, buddy?
Because they beat the Bucks all the time in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's brutal, especially with the Heat playing really unironically hot right now. It'll be tough, but the Bucks, if they just continue that offense, play a little bit better defense, they should be able to take down the Heat, and it'll really help them in the in-season tournament since they are in the same group as the Heat. So the Bucks look to be going, I want to say 4 or 5-0 in the bracket. I could be wrong though. I know they're, it's the in-season tournament. I know Keaton explained it a couple weeks ago, but a lot goes on. But as they kind of wind down here, every game matters.
They're 3-0 in the in-season tournament now.
3-0. There you go.
And the Heat, I hate Jimmy Butler too because he just plays so well against the Bucks.
It's true.
So the Knicks beat the Heat in their last game, losing by 20. So both teams coming off
Pretty good.
the
victory.
opposite sides. I mean, the Bucks come back and a comeback win over the Trailblazers. The Miami loses on the comeback from the Knicks. I mean, big game coming up. It's going to go away with the Bucks. All right, Liam, it's time to talk about the NHL. Your favorite time of the week.
Absolutely. Vegas still on a skid. Pains me very
what a
much
shame.
to say that. You shut your mouth.
I wasn't going to say anything,
You shut your mouth too.
but I didn't.
It's dropping 4 of the last 5. They're still first in the division.
Yeah,
all
you-
right.
Keep hanging on to that, pal.
But the Kings are gaining momentum. So they're it's basically a foot race right now.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it's not a foot race to anything because there's an 82-game season, so we're still
Plenty of time.
plenty of time. But right now, foot race. Their most recent loss came in a shutout to the Flyers. Crap.
Sorry. I'm sorry,
That one
Liam.
really sucked to watch.
Sorry, Liam.
Avs are the Kings of the Central Division. They're sitting on a 3-game win streak.
Shout out
Keaton
Keaton
Walla's favorite
Yeah.
team. Yeah, from the booth. Oilers officially on a win streak, 2 games. They're slowly climbing their way out of the pit that they made.
And you said it would never happen.
And I said it. Well, I didn't say it wouldn't happen.
I know you didn't say that.
I just said that you probably should have picked a better team. But you know,
What's their record now?
Like
only
we said,
7 and
plenty.
12.
They're 5 games back.
Like we said, plenty of season left.
Plenty
A
of
lot
Plenty
to
of
season
change.
season left. They'll be in the playoffs.
Toronto.
Just you wait.
Right in the middle of the pack.
Good for them.
Right in the middle. They're not doing good, not doing terrible. They're right
Good for
there.
them.
Good for them. Kraken, also almost back to 500. They're almost there.
My Kraken friend Chris
Yeah.
has a vendetta against you.
Oh no.
Every time, man, he can come on the show.
I gotta get him on the show to some capacity. You gotta give him like a FaceTime or something.
I
so you guys can-
absolutely. I would love to debate him about it. All right, NCAA hockey. Wisconsin splits a 2-game series at home versus Alaska Anchorage. Remember at the start of the show, we decided that I went there. It was a very bad game to watch.
So sorry.
We lost 1-0. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Now, a lot of tearjerk reactions are, "Oh, it's so bad. The refs sucked." This comes to me, and this is after I went home and cooled down and looked back on it. That was a very poorly officiated game.
Oh yeah.
It was both ways. Those refs decided they weren't going to call anything, and then all of a sudden they started calling every single thing, and then it went right back to nothing. So they did not keep a standard the whole night. There were a lot of questionable calls. There was one that I went back and watched like 100 times. It called offsides. So the puck was heading for the blue line. It was a good 2 feet before the blue line. A guy poke checked it to keep it in the zone, and he called offsides. And it was very questionable. They won the second game 5-0. It was the first collegiate start for William Graham, our freshman. He had a shutout, 5-0. So good for him. He also had a spectacular save. And, Brody had been talking all week about prime Dominic Hasek, but
That's
it was,
a Reese Kupsky quote.
It was legitimately was a Dominic Hasek-esque save. I mean, he wheeled around in the crease, he was on his back, and he flung his glove out onto the side and deflected the puck out of the way. It was a beautiful save. So good for him.
that.
Women's hockey team did not play as well. You know, they had a bit of a bye week. They still moved up number 2. So
Yes!
There we
good for
go.
them. We held strong at men's team held strong at number 6.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
No.
Considering the loss.
Yeah, considering
And they were number 1 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't win a game at number 1, by the way.
Not yet.
We had it
Liam.
for a week.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Sports Point. We had a lot to talk about today. A lot of things were covered. It was fantastic. We thank you for being here. My name is Frankie Breit. I was joined by Liam Statz and Brody Kupsky. We will see you next week.